After some huge earnings movers today, what could the next 24 hours bring? Let's look ahead to Nordstrom, Nvidia, and Deere in today's earnings exchange. Here with our trades is Jeff Kilburg, KKM Financial's founder and CEO and a CNBC contributor. Jeff, welcome. And we'll tease Nvidia a little bit. We'll start with Nordstrom because this one's kind of interesting. Sure. It's up 13% off its 52-week low from just last Monday. Still down 8% on the year. UBS has a harsh warning saying traffic and sales data look weak. Pricing isn't much better, with promotions doubling at Nordstrom Rack from this time last year. The only saving grace, according to UBS, would be a sudden shift back towards dressy clothes and brick-and-mortar shopping, which were both damaged by the pandemic, and it does have high short interest. Would you be a buyer here?
Oh, my goodness. After that lead-in, the answer is no. I agree with UBS. It's in contrast because last week we talked about Gap, which is not that higher-end retailer, and we did see a 30% move in Gap. But here, I don't want to own it, Kelly. If you look at a chart year-to-date, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, go out 10 years. This has been this horrible chart to own. And if you think about what the opportunity is here, I don't think you see a flyer here. This is a $2.5 billion market cap, so a very high beta, but there's not an opportunity for a pop, in my opinion, because one of the things that was cited in the last earnings report was theft. They talked about shoplifting. It's at historical highs. How do they control that? Being a brick and mortar store at the higher end, I don't know how they resolve that. So I think there's more pain in this chart to come.
All right, not going near it. It's down to 3%. We'll see what the earnings tonight say, and we'll move on to the big kahuna after the bell. Of course, Nvidia did just hit an all-time high yesterday, even after that little period of weakness. Shook it off, went back over 500. We're about 1% below that right now. It's up 241% since January. B of A is bullish on their new AI chip technology, but thinks Nvidia could do $4 to $5 billion of net losses due to restrictions in China. And they ask a similar question that you do, which is, where are we in the AI hype cycle, Jeff?
It's a great question, and we've seen such a roller coaster this year, Q1, Q2. If you just said AI in your earnings conference call, you saw the market move higher. But right now, at $504 after yesterday's close, that was an all-time high. You're seeing the valuation of Nvidia at $1.245 trillion. But it sounds so expensive, but at the end of the day, I can't initiate a long position. But if you own this up here like I do, it's very hard to sell, because if you think from valuation, go back to March of 2022. It was trading at a forward PE of 87 times. The stock price was only $250. So right now, yes, it sounds rich at 40 times forward earnings from a PE ratio perspective, but it's not. So there is more room to run. But I want to be more considerate on how I express a view going in this earnings season because of the volatility. We're expecting about a 7.5% move. That's what the options market is telling us. But what I think you can do to really profit if it goes up or down, because remember last quarter, we saw a 25% pop on this behemoth. I think you can own a straddle. That simply means owning a put and owning a call at the same strike price and at the same expiration. So if the market moves more than 7.5%, you will profit from this. So think about it from a sports betting perspective, Kelly. I'm betting on the over here.
Okay. And I think I follow you. I do. I'm going to follow you betting on the over. No, don't stop to think about it. Okay, let's just talk about Deere. Those shares are poised to snap a 3-month losing streak, Jeff. We just want to mention this one. It hit an all-time high back in July. D.A. Davidson says high rates might limit financing, but the USDA expects a strong corn and soybean season. They also think higher incomes from that will boost sales. The kind of an under-the-radar pick here, but I'm curious what you'd do.
For all the farmers here in the Midwest, I have to support Deere, but I actually do want to own Deere. I think it's a buying opportunity. It is offered at a discount forward PE of 11.5. In the last 5 years, Kelly, it's on average traded close to 17 or 18 times forward earnings. But if you think about this industrial name, it really has outperformed the S&P 500 on any metric you look at, 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. So I want to be an owner of Deere.
All right. And I'm still curious long-term with Nvidia, with Microsoft and all the other announcements people have made about, new chip technology. Even OpenAI, could be a threat, but maybe not this quarter. Jeff, it'll be a fun 24 hours. Thank you, as always, for joining us.